Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us for another story time today. Some of you have probably noticed, especially depending on where you live. If you live in the northern part of Minnesota and Wisconsin, your trees are probably absolutely beautiful up there right now. If you live in the driftless region of Minnesota or Wisconsin, our trees are definitely starting to change colors too. So fall is a very, very beautiful time of the year, and we are having excellent weather this week. It warmed up a bunch and it's been super sunny, so it's a great time to get outside and see all those beautiful colors. I live where we mostly have pine trees, but even those are starting to turn gold. And I do have some trees or plants that turn colors, so we can see the bright red sumac behind me. There is some Virginia creeper, I just totally blanked on its name, on that tree. So I have all these red leaves that climb up my pine trees in my yard. But we're starting to see lots of color. So our story today is going to be about why leaves change colors. It's really fun to look at, but do you know why they change their colors? What's the point? How come that happens? So we're going to read a book about that today. Unfortunately, I don't have the actual book here. It is on my Kindle, but don't worry, I'm going to put it up on the screen so that you will be able to see it and see all the pictures as we find out why leaves change their color. So let's begin.
Today, our story is called Why Do Leaves Change Color? It's part of the Let's Read and Find Out series. It was written by Betsy Maestro and illustrated by Loretta Krupinski. Look at the leaves. It's autumn and leaves are turning red and yellow, gold and brown. Each type of tree has its own kind of leaves. The colors of autumn leaves differ from tree to tree. Some oak leaves might be brown or yellow, while maple leaves may turn bright red. How many of you have a tree that's bright like one of these in your yard? Leaves come in different sizes and shapes, as well as colors. Some leaves are wide and others narrow. Some have points, while others may be rounded. How many different kinds can you find? So it's showing us some of the different leaves here. We have a sugar maple leaf, red maple leaf, a tulip tree leaf. This one's from a silver maple, a black birch, gray birch, red oak, Norway maple, a sassafras, and a white oak leaf. Some of these leaves we have here in the driftless region, and some of these we probably won't find here. What kind are you finding? Just a few weeks ago, all the leaves were green. Back in the spring, the tiny new leaves uncurled from their buds. The green color in the leaves helps them absorb or hold sunlight. Chlorophyll gives the leaves their green coloring. Chlorophyll is a natural coloring called a pigment. So chlorophyll is the pigment in our leaves that make them green and help them absorb sunlight. Why do trees need to be able to absorb sunlight? To help them make food. So we see the chlorophyll in here. There's air holes. So this is like if I were to cut a leaf in half and zoom in on it and you could see inside. There's the chlorophyll. There's holes where air can get into the leaf because our trees also need air. There's air inside the leaf. And then there's veins in our leaves that help bring water and nutrients to the leaves up from the roots. Leaves are very important to the tree. They make a kind of sugar that is the tree's food. Leaves need sunlight, water, and air to make this food. The leaves work to feed the tree all summer long. The sugar is used by all parts of the tree: the leaves, branches, trunks, and roots. The food or sugar helps the tree to grow. Extra sugar is stored in the leaves. In the fall, many things are changing. In many places, there is a change in the weather. There are changes in light and temperature. What's happening in our region with light and temperature now that it's fall? That's right, our days are starting to get a little bit shorter, and because we have less sunlight, our temperatures are starting to get a little bit colder. Inside the leaves, there will be many changes too. All of these changes bring about the beautiful colors of fall. In the fall, there are fewer hours of sunlight each day. The change in light tells the tree to get ready for winter. Winter is a time of rest for the tree. When winter comes, the tree will have to survive with less water and sunlight. The tree begins to get ready for its winter rest. It needs very little food now, and the leaves stop their work. The life of the leaves is almost at an end. The tree no longer needs them. When the leaves die, they will fall from the tree. This will happen slowly over a number of weeks. As the leaves begin to separate from the tree, they get less water. Without water, the leaves cannot make new chlorophyll. The old chlorophyll, remember the chlorophyll is what makes the leaves look green, begins to fade, and the green color starts to disappear. Now, the other colors can be seen in the leaves. Other pigments have been in the leaves all along, but they were hidden by the dark green of the chlorophyll. Once the green color fades, the yellow and orange pigments can be seen. These pigments give color to the leaves of birches and poplar and elms. Some foods, like bananas and carrots, get their natural yellow and orange coloring from these same pigments. They also give color to some flowers. Maybe you can think of some. Well, it's showing us some more leaves here. So we have an elm leaf. We saw this gray birch leaf already. Now we see a white birch leaf and an aspen, or those are also called poplar trees. And we have some sparrows here. Autumn leaves have other colors as well. The yellows and oranges have been in the leaves all along. Other pigments are made as the leaves begin to die. These new pigments are made from the extra sugar stored in the leaves. Sunlight causes the stored sugar to change to pigment. The new pigments make some leaves turn red, rust, or purple. The more sugar there is, the brighter the colors will be. Bright days and cool nights seem to bring out the best fall colors. So we see the colors the leaves were. Again, we have a sugar maple, red maple, white oak, elm, gray birch, and a red oak. Color they were and the color they become in the fall. Maple leaves get their red color from these new pigments. Many flowers and some foods, such as beets and radishes, get their color from these red pigments. The brilliant red of sumac leaves shows up only in the fall when these pigments form. Some trees, like oaks, make tannin in the fall. Tannin is not a pigment, but it does color the leaves. Some oak leaves turn a rich brown color in autumn. See if you can find some. You may still be able to see some green coloring too. So then here we have a sumac leaf and a red oak leaf, a red maple leaf, and a white oak leaf. And it looks like our oaks have also made some acorns that the squirrel is snatching up. The change in color of autumn leaves is caused by changes in weather and light. This is why the colors are not the same every year. The best leaf colors usually come with lots of bright sunshine and crisp, clear nights. Too much rain may make the colors dull, and early frost may kill the leaves too soon. Evergreen trees, like pines and spruces, keep their leaves all year, but in cool climates, other trees must lose their leaves to survive in winter. After the leaves have changed color, they are ready to separate from the tree. When they are just barely hanging on, a little bit of wind or rain can make them fall to the ground. In just a short time, the tree will begin to look bare. Piles of dead leaves collect under the tree. Some will blow away, others will be raked up, and the leaves that are left will begin to rot. Over time, they will become part of the soil. Rotting leaves enrich the soil with minerals the trees need to stay healthy. So it's like the nutrients from them are getting recycled. When the last of the leaves have fallen, the tree is ready for winter. During the cold weather, the tree will be dormant or resting. New leaf buds have already formed. Next spring, they will open and begin to make food for the tree. But now, in the fall, it's time to enjoy the colors of the leaves. Beautiful autumn foliage cannot be seen everywhere. Only some places, such as New England, have displays of many colors. This is because the weather conditions there are usually just right, and there are so many different kinds of trees. Fall is a time to have fun with leaves. It's a time to take in the sights and sounds of the leaves. It's time for jumping into great piles of leaves, and then sometimes time for raking them up. Fall is a time to get ready for winter. The trees are ready. Are you? How many of you have raked a big pile of leaves and jumped in it before? Maybe your dog too. All right, so here are some things that you can do with leaves, and these are some of my favorite things. So the first thing you can do is make a leaf rubbing. So you can collect different kinds of leaves, and you're going to put them underneath a blank piece of paper, grab a crayon and take the paper off it, and then lay the crayon kind of flat on your paper and gently rub the crayon over the paper, and you will get a copy of your leaf. The different textures from your leaf will show up on your paper. So we call that leaf rubbing. You can also press some leaves. So if you find a really beautiful leaf you want to keep, we'll go through the steps. It says 1, put an old cloth or towel on an ironing board or table. 2, arrange your leaves between 2 sheets of waxed paper on the covered ironing board. 3, have a grown-up help you preheat an iron. It does not have to be very hot. 4, iron the waxed paper. The iron will seal and press your leaves. Then they will look very nice and will last for a long time. Don't use the iron by yourself and ask a grown-up to help you. And these are some places that you can see great fall colors. And we might not get a show like New England, but in Minnesota and Wisconsin, we get some pretty great color. And that's the end of our story for today.
Thank you for listening to our story this week. We are going to have a change for story time coming up. Story time will be every other week starting after this. So instead of every Wednesday, you will now see me every other Wednesday. And that might change again in the future too. It might just be once a month, but we'll see. So until then, I'll see you in 2 weeks. Today for our resources, since there were activities in the story, those are just going to be our resources today. So you could try doing the leaf rubbings, you could try pressing some leaves, or just go out on a walk and see all the different kinds of beautiful leaves and see how many you can identify. Maybe if you have a bunch in your yard, you could help your parents or your grandparents or an aunt and uncle rake up all those leaves in the yard. So whatever you do, enjoy the weather, enjoy all the colors, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye.